Hi, hello to anyone who's watching this on the internet. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. It's pretty fab, if I do say so myself. Check out everything Gauntlet does at gauntlet-rpg.com, which usually includes, blogs, forums, things to do with indie tabletop role-playing games. And there's the zine that the Gauntlet puts out called Codex, which usually contains um, supplements to existing games or original games in itself. Um, there's also the podcasting network that the Gauntlet puts out. There was just a recent episode of the Gauntlet podcast about running online conventions, which is pertinent because the Gauntlet also runs their own online conventions. Um, they're called Gauntlet Community Open Gaming weekends, where usually folks outside of Gauntlet come in and sign up for games and play with ourselves, which is pretty cool. I think the date has been set for the next Gauntlet GCOG event, so to speak. Expected around the end of June. I'll probably have a more firm date next episode because I can't find the dates right now, but it'll be the end of June for sure. But the other thing that Gauntlet has is the Gauntlet calendar, through which this game and many others are arranged. This is part two of our run of Neon Black by Michael Elliott, a cyberpunk forged in the dark game where folks are part of a community who have come together to protect the community from this cyberpunk dystopia that is Prime City. But who are these people who are part of this community protecting this beautiful apartment building known as the 55? Who's here to help out others? Who's here to make sure that help is spread out? We'll find out. We'll introduce ourselves for your benefit, dear listener slash viewer. First off, my name is Andrew. I use he, him pronouns. And yeah, I'm running this thing, so I don't have to say anything else other than most other things. Um, let's go in the order we have on the sheet. Paul, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Oh, I'm Paul, he, him, and the character I'm playing is Jonny November, also he, him. Jonny November is by profession a doctor or a medic to some degree, and he's also a little bit of a local legend in the block 55, where he helped out quite a long time ago, bringing a cure to a plague that was all over the block. So yeah, he's now quite an old guy, and that's Jonny November.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what he can do today. Up next, Brandon, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, hi, I'm Brandon He, and I'm playing RSC 7, usually called Rose, who is a humanoid synthetic that can pass reasonably well, who is who is a refugee from a corporation and is wanted for theft, if in fact property can be wanted in that sort of fashion. But certainly the corporation that created her would like her back. She has managed to find a bolt hole among sympathetic souls here, and is in gratitude and out of not knowing what else to do, bending her talents to help them. She's learning how to be a person, and has made some progress, but the things are still a little bit new to her.
Yeah.
Originally, she's a military android modified to be a courier, and she has a number of data chips in her that she is unable to decrypt, but which probably have important information on them.
Oh, possibly. Who knows? Who knows if they're important?
So in other words, she's carrying a time bomb.
Mm-hmm. they won't explode and take the 55 with you. Last but not the least, Mario, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Hey, my name is Mario. I use he him pronouns. And tonight I'll be playing Andrej Eclipse, also known as Iguana. He's also a refugee from the corp, but he's more on the I know I'm a human side. And he is like holding the 55 together for years now. And that is more like the literal in the literal sense, because it's not really well regarded in the community, but people need him fix stuff. So that's the deal. And it works for him so far. He has some friends. He is social with, and that's just the right amount. That's enough. That's, if it's anything, it's better than the life in the corp. So yeah, regular guy, I guess.
Yeah, well, some friends, although probably not as many friends as you would like, given what we saw last time. Um, Poor dear. Um, okay, so now we have our characters. Before we jump into what happened last time and um, what we're going to do today, first up, I want to talk about the safety tools that we're using, just so everyone's kind of like on the same page with those. Um, First up, we talked about this off screen, but we did our lines and veils, which, for those who don't know, lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in fiction. Fails are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not going to concentrate on them. Happens off screen, or where we fast forward and kind of like fade to black. Just we're not going to like concentrate on it. There's also stuff that's marked ask first, which means that if they ever come up, we'll make sure that the table is comfortable. If it's okay, how it's going to show up, and we'll make sure to pull the table first. The other tool we're using is script change. It's a series of commands that kind of lets folks take finer control of the scene to make sure that folks are comfortable. There are three commands that I want to focus on. First is rewind. When you call for rewind, you back up to a specific point in the scene and do the scene over again, avoiding whatever issue led to the rewind, trying a different way. It could be any issue. It could be a name, it could be the tone of the scene itself, it could be the scene itself. And you don't have to explain what the issue is. I'm gonna ask questions on what the issue is exactly. But if a rewind is called, we'll go back and try something else. There is fast forward, which basically if you call for it, you fade to black and advance the time is needed to avoid content or elements of play. It's kind of like part of the veils thing where like if something's about to happen, we don't need to concentrate on it. We can just call for a fast forward and everything should be fine. Um, there is and the last one is pause, which you can call for if you need a break. And there could be a variety of reasons. It could be like the scene is intense, or like, hey, let's pause, let's calm down and see what's happening. Could be to take. It could be for want to seek some clarity or discussion about the game or content, or it could be to take a break. There's it's part of like the Gauntlet open door policy. That if you need to step away from the table for any reason, and any reason is perfectly fine, whether you need to take a break, there's an emergency to take care of, or you're more tired than you thought, you need to step away. The open door policy is there, and I do like to make a note that the open door policy extends to the GM as well. That's a note for myself, mostly. Okay, so all that said, last time we were in Prime City trying to deal with the world with these characters. Our characters got an ask from a well, not a vending machine, but the person who lives in a vending machine in the apartment building they called the 55. For those who didn't watch the last episode, the 55 is a massive apartment building, proper dreadstyle kind of like apartment block that's trying to seek freedom from corporate control, but is kind of like in decline infrastructure-wise, thanks to some corp sabotage. There's exposed rebar over the place, some ruined aggro decks. It's quite overcrowded, but people are trying. People are kind of like struggling. There's a person named V who is Haunt, which is a digitized consciousness, which is amazing. Who's stuck in a vending machine? Who's stuck because of a contract that they signed with Mellow Mart, which is the big shopping kind of like conglomerate within Prime City. They've got a big shopping center in the heart of Prime City. So V has asked our protagonists to break that contract, whatever means necessary. It'll be grand. So our fine folks found the basically the security suite that Mellow Mart is using, specifically with these vending machines that they've installed in the 55. It's actually quite close. It's like a warehouse mom and pop department store that they bought out and they're converting into like a security center. We had Johnny call up their friend who they've helped out in the previous crisis in the plague that they had helped cure. Found out the means there, and we had Rose sneak in quite easily, quite readily. Those sixes work wonders, and so that worked out quite well. But meanwhile, Andre tried to drum up some support in the 55, and well, maybe it should have been Andre who did that. In fact, folks are kind of wondering what the heck is Jonny November even doing, hanging around with with someone like Iguana. With all that being said, just to kind of like lay out again what you found out, there's like at the warehouse, there's like the area at the back where the security servers are. Rose didn't actually get to go into the security room, but could see through like a locked door. There's a very frazzled security manager there, and you know that the kind of like the let me see the acronym of this. The security system keeping V within this vending machine. Sorry, I'm just looking down that's glossary terms of this game. The intrusion countermeasure electronics or ICE. That's where it kind of like it's being managed in the warehouse store. So that's kind of like the broad picture. Does anyone have any questions about anything else before we jump into engagement? Cool. Okay. So what I'm hoping to do, I should just say this before we start recording. It's like we'll do the score and then we'll get to do downtime, and then we'll get to see this high octane action, and then slow down and see what our characters are like in the 55. That's kind of like the aim for today. But if things go as they go, I'm not gonna be miffed about it. Things are they are. We'll play to find out. We'll say, I say this every single time I've run a Forge in a Dark game. Whenever I do so, players tend to roll sixes. It's disgusting to me. That's said in jest. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Okay, so let's go to engagement then. So your characters spend time planning each score. They sit in a dive bar, review their tablets with screens full of interlinked rumors, stolen blueprints, and schematics. They may argue and bicker about the best approach, propose outrageous solutions, or call in long-standing favors. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I mean, if you want to, that's perfectly fine, but you don't have to. Those characters take care of that off screen. All you have to do is choose what type of plan the characters have already made. Don't need to sweat all the little details and try to cover every eventuality ahead of time. The engagement roll will determine how much trouble you're in when the plan is put in motion. No plan is ever perfect. You can't account for everything. So the way you, for those who have not played a Fortune Dark game before, the way you kind of cover for those eventualities is through what's called flashbacks, which we'll get to when we get to. So there's 6 different types of plans. Each with a missing detail you need to provide, and there'll be a list down below. I'm going to share the screen here so you all can see this. Let's see, am I picking the right one? There we go. I forgot to clear my bookmarks bar. Let me see that. Okay, so To plan a score, simply choose the plan and supply the detail. And the detail came from the information gathering y'all were doing. So all right, read it out here. There's assault, do violence to a target, and the details the point of attack. Deception is to lure, trick, or manipulate. The details the method of deception. Infiltration, trespass, unseen. The details the point of infiltration. Net is engage artificial entities, access protected areas of the net. The details the access point. Transport is carry cargo or people through danger, details the route and means. And social is negotiate, bargain, or persuade. Detail the social connection. So basically, the way is where it's like, you pick a plan and the detail, and then we'll roll, and then we'll see what trouble y'all are in. Who knows? You could roll well. The main point of the detail, it says right here, is to give myself a jumping off point for your plan. If you want to infiltrate the corporate headquarters, that's fine, but tell the GM the point of entry so that they know how to set that first scene. If you're planning on deceiving someone, tell the GM what the deception is. It's also an opportunity to maybe bring in other members of the community. Could your friend, the information broker, give you a good route for smuggling these refugees? Perhaps your friend, the assassin, can give you a hint on a good point of attack for assault. Don't know if you're friends with any assassins. But yeah, so of these plans, what do y'all think your characters are gonna do?
I'd prefer either. I'd probably prefer an infiltrate.
Yeah, I think so. Given that we scouted out and we have to see the server room where the lockdown codes are. If we can get in there, then we can accomplish this with the least side effects.
Yeah, and Rose has kind of technically already infiltrated. She just didn't get to the. She found where the server is. So what would be the point of infiltration? You can invent any.
Well, I mean, there's only two ways into that, right? Because one is through the door and the other is through the net. I don't have any talent with the net, so my choice is through the door.
Okay. We'll say there's probably. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Paul.
Waiting for someone, either taking opportunity of someone's lapse, or making a lapse.
Okay, all right. We'll say
swiping somebody's credential.
Yeah, I mean, I could possibly pick the lock electronically or physically.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll say someplace through the loading bay or the back door. Go ahead, Mario.
Yeah, I was thinking since there's still that warehouse up and running, and the server is just part of the whole process of. I think we should go in there as regular workers, and just try to get as close as possible, because that would be the easiest way, or easiest identities to get hands on, right?
Yeah. Just hitman your way through. They'll be fine. Yeah, sounds good. Folks good with infiltration. Cool. Next bit is you choose your item loadouts. After the plan and detail are in place, each player chooses their character's load. This indicates how much stuff they're carrying on their operation. The key thing is you don't have to select individual items. You just select how much you actually have on you. So you don't have to worry if you're picking something and it might not be useful. You choose on the spot whether you have it on you or not. So there are two loads. There's light, which is 1 to 3 load. One is the number of boxes you can tick during a score. With light, it means you're fast and inconspicuous. You can blend in. With heavy, which is 4 to 6 load, you're slow and loaded up with bags or gear. You look like you blend in in a factory or doing technical work, or maybe you look like a personal assistant or a bodyguard. You look like you still kind of blend in, but if the people starting a dinner party or a board meeting, they'll be like, oh wow, they're packing for some reason. So I have a moment to like pick your load. Um,
Okay.
okay. All right. Then now we turn to the engagement roll. So the way we do the engagement roll is, well, we build it up. It's a fortune roll. You start with 1 die for luck, just pure ample luck. And then we go through like some of these questions that are here in the rule book. Is this score particularly bold or daring? It seems pretty straightforward, honestly.
Yeah.
You're not here to blow up anything or here to do anything. You're here to help a friend, which might not be the most bold or daring things, but usually the most important things. Is the plan overly complex or contingent on many factors? Yeah, not really. It's pretty straightforward. Seems like get in, wreck the servers, however way, then get out. So you're still only at 1 die. I should have mentioned here that like if the score was bold or daring, you would have gotten +1 die. If it was complex, you would have gotten -1 die. So there's pros and cons to being bold or daring. Does the target of the job underestimate you or not perceive you as a threat? Well, Metal Mart probably doesn't even care about the 55 other than it's another place of revenue. Like the main faction that's going after y'all is Prime City Operations. They're the infrastructure folks. Like Metal Mart probably like so that's +1 die. Is the target strongest against this approach or suspect you are after them? Well, there is a clock, but that clock hasn't filled up. So we'll say no. I don't think they suspect you at the moment. The fact that you caught them in the middle of like moving, does mean that they're suspicious for threats, but not you specifically. So you don't take the -1 die. Still at 2. Is anyone in the community helping you with this score? Let's see.
Not really. I botched that, right?
Yeah, you did. If that had gone well, yes, absolutely. But I mean, there was a Johnny's friend, Arthur, but Arthur technically doesn't live here. He works with you, right? Yeah. So no, you don't take the +1 die. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in the score? Nah.
Not yet.
Not yet. There we go. That's a perfect answer. Not yet. Are the elements that you want to consider? No, I think we're good with 2 dice. Okay. Who wants to roll 2 dice? Come on. I'm not going to roll.
Pretty lucky. He was
Yeah.
last time.
I rolled last time.
Okay, I'll spin 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 and a 2.
Ow.
Wow. So 1 to 3 is a bad result. You're in a desperate position when the action starts. Each PC gains 1 luck, though. So here's another way to get luck: is through engagement rolls.
It's to gaff it up.
But you get 1 luck. I'll say right now, you would have gotten a crit, you would have gotten 5 luck. You would have gotten a 6, you would have gotten 3. So you each get 1 luck. Okay. So y'all have I'll say right now that like y'all probably have gotten through the door. Johnny, like you said, you managed to pick through the lock. And that's what my first thought as well, Mario. But it's just like this can't be all just Andrej's fault, but it kind of is. You picked the heavy load. So I think here's kind of like what happens. I think, yeah, let's say we'll cut to yourselves, kind of like, you're pretending to be like workers. And I think you are kind of like in the back end of the department store where there is like where the stuff is properly like stored, not just like put out for people to buy. Is where things are being stored and things are being kind of like moved out. So I think like before like you even get to the server room, I think the frazzled lady with the big hair, which I think probably Rose would have mentioned, is kind of like the project manager here. Kind of sees the three of you and is like, looks like the two of you aren't doing, the three of you aren't doing anything. Pick up those pallets now. Put them in the truck now. Get on the truck. Pick up those pallets and 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 just put them there and stay there. Bring them over to HQ. Okay. I think as she's saying that, a truck kind of like pulls up, and you can see like there's like you're kind of like near like the loading bay, and a truck pulls out, and like the flap kind of like opens, and like two kind of like private security kind of like goons with there's like high vis jackets, and some lumpy objects in their back that could look like a gun, and sunglasses kind of like come out, and um another person comes out. They're wearing this kind of like big duster kind of like jacket, um and they kind of like exit this truck in this kind of like, like a tiger entering like a forest looking for prey. That's how their vibe is. They kind of like look around, and they've got this like, they're quite tall, and they've got this like beautiful kind of like blonde hair that's kind of like cut short, but looks like it's kind of molded into their head. And they kind of look around, and you can kind of see them that their eyes are like artificial. And they give the three of you a look, because it pallets not being moved, or at least there's only been like a few seconds, and they walk over to the lady, and it's like, is there a problem, Miss Carbine? All of this has to be moved out soon. And the project manager lady, Miss Carbine's like, yes, it'll be fine, you three now.
So these are pallets, or big or boxes.
Boxes. I'd say boxes on like a traveling pallet, which is kind of like those wooden boards. I think it's on also like a trolley.
I'm just wondering if they have like, is there a forklift?
They're on kind of like a hovering kind of like lift. It's not so you can just kind of push it. You don't have to get on a forklift. I should describe.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a big box on like a hover kind of like platform.
Yeah.
You can kind of like just push.
Yeah, like a hand, like a hand dog, except like that.
Yeah. So yeah, you're in a desperate position.
So, well, start moving boxes.
Paul, you're muted there.
Yeah, I'd like to have a flashback, but just before we came here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to be shoving sort of like dirty old rags, trashed off the street, old clothes into the aircon sort of exhaust ventilation. Yeah, to try and sort of close that down. And I'm going to say to this guy that clearly you got us mistaken. We're actually the AC repairmen. So I'd like to try and convince him that, loading this truck ain't nothing to do with us. We're here to fix the AC. So what's the cost of a flashback?
Depends on how complicated the flashback is. This seems fairly straightforward. I'm gonna say there's no cost to this. Like, the more unlikely it is, like say, oh, this guard has come to accost us. But in a flashback, I've paid them off already in a bar 2 days ago. That will cost like 1 or 2 stress. The upper cost, the highest a flashback costs like 2 luck, I should say, not stress. But this this seems fairly easy to do, especially since I think then when you say that, I think like Miss Carbon kind of like will notice like, oh man, she has been sweating a lot. The AC has been gone for a while, but I think like the blonde woman in the duster jacket kind of like is kind of like sizing you up, because it kind of looked like you interrupted the two of them, well, or at least got in the middle of them. So this is why it's still a desperate position.
Sure. Is it a spin? Talk our way in.
Yeah, spin. When you spin,
Spin.
you influence someone with guile, charm, or logic. Yeah.
And of course, he has a clipboard with a work order on it.
And since I do actually know what we are doing, I think I also will look like and therefore be of use here.
Ooh, how are you helping?
Yeah, exactly. So because I've got these heavy bags, I'm carrying all the tools, and just like maybe on the tablet, like flipping through the manual. Oh, it's it's a TC45. Oh, that's an old thing. You sure you don't want to replace that thing?
Select
You've
spare,
got the
select spare parts.
Okay,
So I've got one skill. If I'm getting some assistance,
you get an extra-
Mario, yeah, that's another dice, yeah.
Yeah, and Mario, you spend one luck to assist there. Yeah, I'm gonna say the position is desperate for sure. And the effect here is, ooh, I think it'll be standard because of the flashback. I think if you had if you didn't have that flashback, it would have been limited because well, is the AC busted or not? But you did actually bust that AC. So yeah, desperate standard. So
Now, desperate one, do I mark XP?
yes. And there's only one XP track, so you're just gonna get it there. So you can, as always, you can add more bonus die. So you've got an assist. You can push your luck, which is spend 2 luck, or you can sell out, which is this game's version of a devil's bargain. For those who are unaware, selling out basically means that you'll get an extra die, but I will inflict a consequence. Like there's a cost to it. Like it could be stuff like collateral damage, sacrificing resources, marking a condition, that sort of thing. I'll give you the choice, Johnny. I think if you want an extra die, you can get an extra die, but I will give you a level 1 condition on the radar, or at least on the radar, like on Mellow Marts or like on important people's radar.
Okay, no, I'm just going to go with the 2 dice. I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Okay, here we go, rolling.
Mm-hmm.
2 and a 2.
Whoa! Oh my god! Wow, this is. I'm sorry that I said that. I didn't realize things could go bad. This is. Oh my gosh! Oh wow! 2. Yeah. It's okay. So let me read up from the books. On a desperate, it's the worst outcome. You suffer a level 3 condition, a complication occurs, you lose this opportunity. So I think what happens is the blonde lady grabs you by the throat. And their strength is unbelievable. Like it feels like
Can I
properly.
react?
Let me do the consequence first.
And take the hit.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want to? Oh, okay. Huh. Let me lay out the consequence first, and then you can jump in to protect. Yes. Yeah. You can step in to face a consequence when your team is otherwise face. Okay. Yeah. I think the consequence would have been like a level. Ooh. They would have grabbed you. They would have thrown you into the truck, and you would have gotten like a level. Ooh, I don't want to go too bad. Level 2 condition, I would say, which is some kind of dire straits. But you want to jump in, Rose, if that's okay with Johnny. Okay. Yeah. So how are you jumping in, Rose?
I'm when she goes for Johnny, I bump him out of the way, as if by accident. And she's going to get me instead.
Yeah, I think so you bump in and she grabs you by the throat, and there's probably feels less crushing to you. Oh, go ahead.
I mime choking.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. the way their grip is on you, it's again, it feels less inhuman to you because you're not human, but
Right.
you can feel like your surface kind of like almost kind of cracking. They're just really strong. So the way kind of protect works is that you take the consequence. So they're gonna throw you into the truck now. Do you want to resist that?
How do I resist it?
Yeah, so resistance is a thing you can always do when there's a consequence. When your PC suffers a consequence that you don't like, you can choose to resist it. You'll make the roll using one of your character's attributes, which in this case is either clout, intellect, or prowess. And that determines kind of like how much luck you're going to use up when you resist. Because resistance is always effective. When you say, I don't want this consequence to happen, it'll work, and then we'll see how much luck it costs you.
Yeah, it's prowess for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So you're gonna roll 3 dice because that's determined by how many dice are you have in how many dice you have in the skills and prowess, which is 3, like in this line here. Or
Okay.
okay, so roll 3 dice. You spend 6 luck minus your highest result here.
Crit.
Wow, you rolled. Did you roll crit again?
I got a 166. You tell me.
Okay.
I'm making up for the terrible rolls you just had.
Okay, all right. All PCs gain 1 luck on a crit. So how do you resist this? Because she's like
Okay.
angling to throw you in the truck.
Right. Well, I have to go for the cinematic thing. She grabs me. She tries to throw me in a truck, and I don't budge. I have I do the reflexive thing, which is to put my hand, put my hands on her hand that she's throttling me with, and I don't go anywhere.
I think like she kind of like moves closer and sees like, yeah, you're being really solid. Carbine, who are these employees of yours, and why are they being such a pain in the asses right now? And Carbine, the manager's just like, I, I, I don't know what they're flustered. She looks incredibly confused. I'll turn to Andre if you have anything you wanted to in this situation.
I'm all I do is just like flipping through the manual on my tablet and just keep like hey we're on a schedule. We actually need to get the thing working. It's an old piece of shit. It will take a while. Can we just do that?
I think Carbine is a little flustered, and the blonde lady is just like, I'm finding that increasingly hard to believe. Carbine, are these actually employees of yours?
No, we're not employees. We're subcontractors of a subcontractor that you hired to get the thing fixed. What's wrong with you? Don't you know how capitalism works?
I'm gonna say that like it's hard. I mean, I know, but it's just harder to do this because Rose is here refusing to be thrown into the truck. When and the blonde lady has not let go of her.
No.
Hmm.
Rose is undecided as to what Rose doesn't know what to do. Is the reason that she's not doing anything. And the other two of you can tell this, because Rose knows what she would do if she were alone, but this is not that, and she doesn't want to cause a problem.
I think
If Rose were alone, she would kill both of these people,
Go ahead, Johnny.
or at least try. But that doesn't seem like the thing to do.
Tell you what, I'm going to mark illicit drugs. So I've got some syringes of some dodgy substance, and I'm going to try while all this commotion is going on. I'm going to try and jab our sort of employer, the server room guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, which one? The lady with the frizzled hair, or the blonde lady that's crushing Rose is trying to crush Rose?
No, not the person doing the crushing. The guy that the person that generally works here, the one that came out and ordered us to.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, all right.
So, but I want to make it sort of, non-obvious.
That's fair.
So just a sort of a jab while all this is going on.
Yeah, I played Hitman. I've seen this happen. Okay, cool. What action are you rolling with this?
It sounds sort of like sneaky, really.
Yeah.
Because it's only a small syringe. It doesn't sound like assault.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're trying to be surreptitious about it. This is still desperate, surprisingly enough. This is gonna be desperate. I'm gonna say standard because again, your manager, Ms. Carbine, is in incredible duress and could probably do with being knocked with being knocked out and getting some sleep, honestly. So it's gonna be desperate standard. Anyone want to assist?
Assist uses basically spends a luck.
Yes, you spend 1 luck per.
I will assist, and my assistance is being the focus of attention. So I've got both hands on the blonde woman's arm, trying not to be choked, as it were, and making gasping noises and things like that.
I'll push myself as well.
And also,
I'll
I'll send a luck to use my.
I think you only have to spend 1.
Yeah.
I'm spending my luck to assist, right?
Oh, okay.
And then you can push.
Yeah, I push. So rolling 3 dice.
Yes. Okay. Oh my God.
There we go.
There we go. That is what we call in the business a crit. Let me see if you also get luck for this. Let me double check. Yes, you do it with increased effect, and all PCs gain 1 luck. So there's a value of so you spend luck to gain luck.
So sort of increased effect I'm looking for is this is plainly obvious that this guy ain't functioning too well now.
Yeah. Can you tell me what kind of drugs? You weren't knocking them out. What were you?
No, I'm thinking more something that's going to, I don't know, give him a sort of a mild seizure, a bit of frothing at the mouth, that kind of stuff. Something that looks as if they're sort of like horrendously overstressed.
Maybe having heat exhaustion or something.
Heat exhaustion, yeah.
Yeah, especially since the AC has been not working. So I think you're gonna do it, not even gonna notice. The blonde lady is just kind of like very curious about Rose, and Carbine is just this is a very important, and they just kind of like look like they're having like a heat seizure of sort. They're really sweaty. They're swaying on their feet. And they look like they're just about to collapse. And I think like because the effect is great, what happens is the blonde lady will let go of Rose's throat.
And I'll collapse in a heap.
The blonde lady doesn't even notice you. She just kind of turns to Carbine and just kind of says, "This is the 4th time this month, Carbine." Well, actually, no, she doesn't say that because I don't want to make it seem like you put her. I don't want to make it put Carbine too much pressure. I think she says, "Carbine, for God's sake, this is ridiculous. You're better than this." So the attention is off on y'all, and oh no, we lost Mario. We've been here for like an hour. Anyway, I'm gonna send them a message. So this sounds like as the three of you manage to like get the attention off you, this sounds like a good time for a break. Let's come back at half past the hour. Cool. BRB. All right. So the attention has shifted from the three of yourselves to poor Carbine, who I think like there are some other employees have like gotten a chair to like sit her down, and the blonde lady is just kind of like has turned her attention to her for like a split moment, but that should leave you guys like a moment to like get away. We'll say that does mean like your position is now not desperate anymore, but because it's certainly back, it's now up to like risky. Um, is there anything else? What are you all heading straight to the server room?
Yeah, I think I should.
Yeah. Does this sound like a sort of a group role?
I think no, I think there's no need for a roll. You rolled 2 6s. I want to respect that. You got great effect. So I think you should be fine to get to the server room. I think when things are, I think the why it's still risky is because that blonde lady's not going to forget the three of you, but her attention's just here for the moment. So that's kind of like on on the docket. That's why things are still risky. But yeah, you can make it to the server room. Um, Door is still there. It still looks quite. It's still shut, um, and you can see that like the window into the server room. I want to say right now, this door is not like any ordinary door. It's like a big metal door, um, and you can see that like the window is kind of like frosted, and I think you can tell, and maybe Rose, you figured this out before, and that like this used to be the freezer. This one we converted to the server room. And you can see like even though you had messed with the AC, this thing still looks cold. As if they had their own separate thing going on.
Sure.
There's like a data pad locking this door. So it's right there. I'm gonna ask Andre, what are you up to? Um, I'm asking since you're the tech, but anyone else can like if they have an idea of
Yeah.
how to get through the door. Um,
I have an emergency backup way of getting through the dark, but let's let Andre do it first.
Yeah. I just think I turn to the group and say, hack it right away, or like check for any security measures.
Speed.
Okay. And I turn around and just start hacking it, and I think it's like pretty retro cyberpunk, because the most effective way to not land somewhere with your IP address is to just like plug in with an actual wire, and I just pull that out of my wrist and try to hack it.
yeah. So you do have well, there is hack as a skill. So I assume you're rolling that. The position is going to be risky, as I say. Attention is off you for the moment, but that doesn't mean you weren't noticed. I'm gonna say because you have like old cyberware, and this is kind of like this Mellowmart is it's a tiers above y'all. Effect's gonna be like a bit limited. And what I mean by that is that like it means that like the complication I'm gonna throw at you if this fails or gets a mixed success is gonna take into the fact that like your hacking skill is limited or your hacking effect is limited. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Cool. Anyone helping?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to assist.
Yeah.
I think I'll be. I don't really have hack, but I'm pretty good with physical things. So I'll start removing some sort of panels. So Iguana can easily sort of patch in.
Heck yeah. The fun thing with this is it just works even if you don't have this a skill that can help with it. So long as it makes some kind of sense. But yeah, spend your luck.
I'll pay the 1 luck.
Okay, so Andre get an extra die. Do you want to push yourself or sell out, Andre?
Right now, I think it's okay because I got 3 dice on this, and we've got a plan B.
Okay. Well, why did I close the link to the die roller? Let me see.
What's with the dice today?
Why? What'd you get?
Yeah, I got a 1, 6, 6.
Wow. And those weren't even the same dice that were rolled. So it's just
No, 3 different sets of dice.
see. Okay, so the failures at the start were false alarms. Clearly. Amazing.
Well, we were rattled by the
Yeah. It was
cybered
yeah,
up.
that is true. That doesn't mean there were any consequence for those failed rolls, but Jesus, V was right to go to the 3 of you. You're good at this. So yeah, increased effect, and again, everyone gets 1 luck. So thankfully, Johnny, you get back the luck you spent. God, this is nice. Not to get into the game dev stuff, but I like the feeling of just you get rewarded for crits. Yeah, standard effect. So it just means, and it's a success. So yeah, it will open. There's no complications. It's just kind of like, thanks to Johnny. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think they didn't update it, the software on the padlock, and therefore, like, well, I've been part of the team writing the security measures for that, I guess, and of course there's a backdoor because I was working for Corp, and I just exploited.
Of course, yeah. You can kind of tell that like this should have gotten more attention than it did, but again, everything was so frazzled, everything was moving. So it's almost insulting, honestly. Like especially in this day and age when servers and information are the most important things. But yeah, you open a door and like a breeze of cold air just kind of like wafts out. It's beautiful, especially and considering how hot the department store has been. And I think we get like a classic 1980s computer room, big towering servers. Well, not to say that big towering servers aren't a thing these days, but like it does look like there's low blue lighting everywhere. So and you just get like these rows and rows of like black towers of like servers out and about, and every now and then you see some terminals. I There is like a person there for sure. I think there's like one person. It's kind of like hunched over a terminal, just kind of like typing into like the black screen with like typing in code and whatnot. I'm not a computer person, so if anyone corrects me, feel free to do so. Not just to you, the 3 of you, but to everyone else who might be watching this. So yeah, they're just kind of like hunched over, but when the door opens, they're kind of like, is that my relief? Christopher, is that you? They're a bit desperate sounding.
No, it's not Christopher. It's the maintenance guys.
Okay. Cool. I didn't ask for maintenance, but I guess you're here to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't ask to, but you sort of skipped 3 updates in a row that set off an alarm because you were like high priority customers, and we're here to get the updates fixed.
Yeah, I think they kind of like turn around and you can see like it's like a proper 20-year-old. This is like a actually no, I'll say right now. They are probably 20-year-old. Not a this, but this isn't like entry level stuff. They're in a server full of important stuff. This looks like more like intern who probably like an unpaid intern for a software company who's been sent here to look after this sort of thing. They have like still in college kind of like babiness to him, and they try to like brush like their hair and realize it's almost kind of like frozen in. It's just like I that means nothing. No, that does mean something to me because it means the company I'm working for is high priority. You, is there anything I can do to help? I'm terribly helpful. I'm Do you want to see my resume? I've I'm sure to show it. Just to share it, but I can be of help. Whatever you need.
I'd like to sort of read this guy and find out how sort of frazzled out is he?
Hmm. Um.
Would that be analyze?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's still some risk here, so this is gonna be actionable, but I'm gonna say this is controlled because um you got in here way quicker than you probably expected. And this guy doesn't look like to be any threat. Um, so yeah, this is gonna be controlled, standard, I'd say. So it's up to yourself if you want to add more dice to that.
No, I don't really want it to drop down to desperate at all. No, control's fine. So yeah, 1 die for analyze.
Yeah.
I'll push myself.
Okay.
So that'll give me 2 die.
Oh, there's the fun thing I could do since I've got heavy load and haven't used any of the tools yet. I'll just walk past you, and we'll start working on the servers in just a sec. But while I walk past you, I'll give you another dose of those illicit drugs, because I thought that was a smart move. And you're out of yours, right?
Well, it says it. I mean, it's 0 load, so we could all have them. It doesn't really cost a load. No, it does say a wide variety of applications. Comes with a few syringes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've probably got more than one, but hey, why not all have drugs?
He's a
Drugs are
doctor.
good. Yeah, so I got a 4, partial success.
Heck yeah. Okay. Oh, is Andre's thing? Was that a help? Was that an assist?
It was supposed to be a help, yeah, right?
Okay, so you can roll one more
okay.
die.
Well, I'll just roll 1 more die. And that became a 6. So really good.
Of course. Yeah, I think.
Does he look frazzled?
Oh yeah. I think Ooh, I'll give you something. They look frazzled. They look like jumpy. They looks nervous and energetic, and also familiar to you, Johnny. And then because it's a 6, you realize before I think he recognizes you is like he is someone you've treated before, specifically from the what was that plague you'd cured, from that necrotizing fasciitis, and you can see like there are marks kind of like on his skin now that you're closer. You can the low level lighting can light up his features a bit more. Like he is someone you've treated before. I have. Do you have a name for this kid, or I can
Let's go for Cameron Green.
Cameron Green. I need to remember to make an NPC.
Cameron Green, the server guy.
Yeah, Cameron Green.
Yeah, I'd like to slip him sort of a knowledge that you know he's burnt out. I'd like to slip him some of these drugs that Iguana's just sort of palmed off to me, and say, you know, man, they're working you too hard. You know, this is a good job though. You want to keep that, but you know, have some of this. You can owe me on the lowdown. You know, have it for free now, but you know, you owe me one.
I think like as you kind of like slip him the drugs, he kind of blinks and starts to like recognize you because I think he would remember, because you were also this kind of like kind to him when you were treating him, I assume.
Yes, you look indeed. You look very stressed, says Rose, unconvincingly.
I think Cameron like blinks and will just kind of like as the drugs kind of take in, he just kind of like nods. Okay, I'll. Yeah.
These will chill you out, and you know you can carry on working sort of normally. Nobody's going to blame you for any of this server fault. You know, you want to look sort of good, mate. You know, look chilled. If anybody comes in there asking, you don't want to seem nervous.
That makes sense. I've They didn't say to work this hard, but I just thought worked hard, they'd notice, you know. And
It's good, and these this stuff, this gear, it will allow you to work and work and work, but you won't look stressed. You'll be chilled.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, Doctor. They say kind of like without meaning to, as you kind of like help him like sit down. This is kind of like the inverse of what's happening to Carbine, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
You have someone way more sympathetic looking over. Um, okay, so we'll say he's neutralized, so to speak. And you've pretty much got this server to yourselves. You've been rolling disgustingly well. I knew this was going to happen. So yeah,
Didn't start that way.
yeah, it didn't start that way. It was a bit of a false alarm, but you got out there. Okay, what? All right, Andre,
I've got a two-part plan for the server, and the thing is, first I want to just like put on some malware or something where it's like overriding all the data with like endless rows of zeros. And the other part is I wanna see how the electronic, how the wiring is done, and I wanna just like tinker with the fuse there, so that it's just a matter of time. Maybe like let's say like a couple hours after we left, till the whole thing will get a how do you say if like there's too much electricity on the wire and everything
But
is melting.
overload.
Overload,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
that is a lot of. Look, I think we can break it into two roles, two steps.
Yeah, let's. I'll ask Cameron Green when his shift ends, when he's meant to hand over to the next guy.
He kind of says almost sheepishly, well, my shift kind of ended like an hour and a half ago, but the guy who meant to cover me didn't show up, so I just thought, well, I've got to show my boss I'm here to work, so I didn't bother.
But fair enough. Yeah. So if we make it in a bit of a distance, Iguana, our man on the inside shouldn't get the blame for that. So he should still be a good contact in the future. So yeah, I think that's a great plan.
Yeah. I want to ask Rose if there's anything you want to do in the server, anything you want to find out, anything you want to do. Because I think you all can tell, like these are like security servers for one of like the big shopping conglomerates in Prime City. There might be some stuff here. But that's up to yourselves. You want to just like do the job, and then do Iguana's extra thing. Up to yourself.
Well, I've got a plan when we leave. I mean, I'd like to leave reasonably clean. We've now sort of got a guy on the inside, Cameron Green, if we need him in the future. But I could render some first aid to Carbine outside when we leave, and I could possibly live wire into him. I've just been reading live wire. It says if you jack into somebody else, you can sort of you can experience their memories. So we could possibly get some corporate intel off Carbine.
Yeah, we'll come to that when we leave. That sounds really interesting.
What do people think about that? Maybe while somebody's removing the crap we put in the AC upstairs,
I think
we actually do fix the problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we have an escape route. So I'm going to step out and just position myself to where I can spot trouble before it happens.
Okay, so I think what we'll do is like we'll do Iguana's plan first, which involves the service itself. We'll do Rose's kind of like stakeout to make sure there's no trouble, and then we'll do Johnny's like person hacking escape plan out of the way on the way out.
Yeah, I mean, does it come under hacking? That I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Because I ain't no good at hacking, so maybe it's not for me then.
Well, we'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
This would be, I mean, I guess this would be just Mellow Mart information anyway. So unless we're just looking for something to sell,
you never
it
know.
might be of marginal utility.
You never know. These look. I didn't know that there's that crafts conglomerate in the U.S. Hobby Lobby who deals in what stolen Assyrian artifacts. I didn't. So you never know.
Yes.
you never know what Mellow Mart could have.
It's true.
Cool. All right. So yeah, it sounds like we've
But
got like
Iguana would be most likely to find that in the server,
yeah.
I guess.
Let's start with Iguana. So you've got the server kind of with you. Cameron is kind of like pacified. He's kind of he's chilling in the corner. You sit him down. There's like plenty of seats around here. Well, actually, no. There's like 2 exact seats because they don't want people to be sitting around for too long if you're not working here. All right, we'll start with you, Iguana. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring in the malware, and I think that is because we do know there's always a backup, and they need to have a totally fucked up backup that is just like rewriting everything with like zeros, or maybe even if we're more in a more fun future, it's some weird like super ancient book that's got that's like right that will be written all over the other data, so you can read like Lord of the Rings forever if you want
It's
to.
not a fun future we're in.
Okay, yeah. So actually that's not too bad. I just need to get in. We're locked in already. Like Cameron Green gets some sort of access, otherwise he wouldn't be able to do much there, right? So I just use him, use his account, but yeah, try just install this one data that will start writing over everything.
Okay. So this is what are you rolling with this?
It's sort of still hacking because
Yeah.
that's the only thing to deal with networks and everything.
Yeah. That's perfectly fine.
And
you've
I
got 2
think
dice in it. So.
okay, yeah, I think I will mark my old smartphone where I've got the code on, so I could tinker with the views while the rest, like the program does what it does, right? So
Okay.
does that give me an extra die, or?
No, usually for items,
Okay.
it usually increases effect. That's what items
Okay,
are for.
perfect.
Yeah.
Then I push myself.
Sometimes you need items because otherwise you won't be able to do certain things.
Instead of pushing yourself, I'll assist.
Okay.
You know, I'm pretty good around electronics, just not the actual inside, programming, but electronics I'm pretty good.
Okay.
So yeah, have a dice for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So also the position, you're still in control. You're also good for the moment. This was originally going to be limited because again, Mellow Mart is pretty good with their stuff, but because Cameron's here, because you've got some time to yourselves, this is going to go back to and you got the smartphone to hack with. This will bump you up to standard, let's say. So
okay, perfect.
Controlled standard.
So I'm rolling 3 dice here.
Yeah.
And see. Oh, it's a 6.
God. See? Told y'all. False alarm at the start.
Perfect.
Yeah. this
That's...
was really good to like go with y'all. Yeah, geez. So yeah, you find V's contract in the server. And that's an easy enough rewrite, delete, and I would say with a 6, there's not gonna be any consequence. So you can kind of frame however it is you want, whatever it is you want to do, and there won't be any consequences because it's a 6.
Okay, so the thing is, just now that I was thinking of the smartphone and what it comes with, and it comes with hands-free earpieces. I got this Ocean's 11 type thing in my head where just I plug in my earpods. I give a nod towards Jonny. Jonny starts tinkering with the electrics. I plug in the smartphone, just type in some commands like open the terminal and then type in some commands and stuff. And then we see just like loading bars popping up and writing like processes popping up, and they're just opening and closing. And we and the only thing we hear is like some K-pop, which is not the music you would have thought Andrej would listen to, but it's like some really old K-pop song, which probably BTS or something like that, because we're in the future, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, and then just stuff will be done within like while the song is playing, and just on the last note of the song, Jonny and I will be finished with stuff we need to do.
Yeah. Gosh, is there anything else you want to find in Mellow Mart's kind of like servers? So it was Andrej looking for anything in particular. If not, if there's nothing, that's perfectly fine. But if there is, here's kind of like the moment.
Yeah.
It'd be quite interesting what their real profit score was last year. You know, because the vending machine said it needed to be 3%, and it was only 2.999.
That's 10%. A good call. We check that, yeah.
So you look at V's contract and it says 3%. And then it says they say 2.9989. Turns out that was 2.9899 for their district. And the actual profit score, which is overall, which is also what it says in the contract, which is not, they didn't tell V. Profits actually went up 10%. It's just that they didn't bother telling V that like the 2.99 was only for for the 55 specifically, but like overall in Prime City, Metal Mart's doing fine. Mostly you see like thanks to some dealings with a group called Temple Hardware, but that's another thing. Hardware manufacturer in Prime City, specifically specifically the one where Rose came from. You can see like there's been some like business dealings between them and Metal Mart. So that's kind of what you get. But 6 means you delete V's contract. You got where you came here for. I'm gonna cut to Rose for a moment. You're on the lookout, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially on the lookout for our cyberduck friend.
Yeah, I think there you still hear like there are commotions. See, there's some talking. There's a hubbub. Kind of like I'm imagining that like you're in this like small kind of like room with like a bunch of boxes about, and the door behind you is kind of like
I'm up on top of a stack of boxes.
Yeah. All right.
No, I just hop to the top of a stack of boxes and squat up there.
Cool. All right. So
I'm not gonna hang around on the floor.
Yeah. I think just to let's leave this in a roll. I don't want to like just throw another complication right here, right now, and things. And you're doing such a clean sweep. But how are you looking out for anyone? Let's make that a roll if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay.
How am I looking? I'm a sneaky person, so I'm remaining concealed, and just keeping my eyes and ears open.
I think I think there's like maybe you're up in the boxes, and yeah, there are like two workers who coming in, and they're just started chatting to each other, just almost like to get away from the hubbub of there, and just saying stuff like, like, God, that lady over there, she don't speak up, but she surely doesn't need to. Yeah, you're right there, Bob. It's just, why does she keep everything in a whisper? It's fucked up. Um, so okay, so that's what it's sneak. You're still in a controlled position. I'm gonna say it's controlled standard because everything has been going so well. See, when things go well, things remain well. Um, okay, so do you want to push yourself or push your luck?
No, I got a
Okay.
6.
Yeah, I just saw that there. God, of course you did. Okay. I think so they won't notice you, but you will get something out of this. I think the door opens, the door to the outside opens, and the blonde lady walks in, looks at the two workers, and they say, "Shouldn't you two be working?" And motions for them to move. And then like they don't notice you, but then they kind of like pull up to like an earpiece, kind of click it open and say, "Yes, yes, I'm quite sure. I don't know why you care about such a defective model, but yes, they were here tonight. That means they're in the vicinity. Well, you're the one who gives a damn about them." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll be there very soon. And they click off the earpiece and they move out. And I think as the server, as they're doing the hacking stuff, you can hear the commotion, and then you can hear like again some voices, and then you hear what sounds like a truck pulling off. So with a 6, it means basically it means that like the blonde lady is gone, the coast is clear. And you're in her crosshairs, but she's not here at the moment.
She's left.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'd say this over communications to Jonny and to Andrej. So we're clear whenever you're done.
Yeah. Let's
No
go
one else,
home.
yeah, no one else will stop you going on.
Do we want to do this job on Carbine or not?
I think is everyone down for it?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only saying it because I'm probably not the one. I can administer first aid to him and sort of set it up, but actually I've got no skill with the live wire, so I'm going to need somebody with hacking to really attempt that. So, it's your agency. I don't want to take it away from you guys.
I can hack it. I've got plenty of load to spend.
Okay.
Why not?
I think it's a 0 load item, actually, a live wire. Oh, no, it's a 1 load. Okay,
No,
sweet.
It's a 1 load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think on the way out, I'll attempt to administer some first aid to Carbine, and hopefully Iguana can sort of be my assistant, giving him some sort of like chest pumps, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think like Carbine was kind of like not predisposed to the three of you, is like a bit more subdued, but still looks really out of it. They probably didn't enjoy the blonde lady's presence, so they will not look untoward to you when you
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to fix him. I'd like to sort of nullify the effects of the drugs when we're done. But I'd really like to give Iguana enough time to sort of at least get some of his memories.
Yeah. So let me check something. So Andre's the one actually doing the hacking. I think I think the fixing them up, that doesn't need a roll because you have a fine medical kit. From what I can see, yes, you do, and you know how to like fix because you caused this. So you're a doctor. Doesn't have to be a roll.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to assist Iguana, so I'll spend a point of luck to add a dice to Iguana.
What will my effect be? I guess Carbine will be like vulnerable right now.
Yeah,
So
this is a controlled position, and yeah, this would be pretty great. This is the best position and effect there is at the moment. Controlled great because
okay.
they're.
Has Carbine got any cybernetics?
I'm gonna say because I like this plan, I'm gonna say yes. I think they've got like some stuff on the back of their head, and you can see like they're like cybernetics for like scheduling and increased cognitive load, which probably you'd think would have been helpful for a stressful move like this, but it is what it is. Sometimes the cyberware is there, sometimes it isn't. But yeah, they do have cyberware for this to work. Okay, so yeah, controlled great. You get one extra die thanks to Johnny's assist.
Can I push myself on top of the assist?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, the thing you can't do at the same time is push yourself and sell out slash take a devil's bargain, but you can get an assist on top of pushing yourself.
So I got my 4th die. Let's see. 5.
Oh man, on the last hurdle. Yeah, no, don't worry. On a 4 to you're in controlled position, so it's fine. So it's better than most. So on a 4 to 5, you hesitate, withdraw, and trying a different approach, or else do it with a minor consequence. So the hesitation is that you can see that like, they're like you hack into what does this look like when you like hack into like their implants that are kind of like connected to their brain. What's kind of like the impression? Have you hacked into people, so to speak, before?
I don't think that usually you would be so stupid to connect your cyberware to like open Wi-Fi or whatnot. Like there's no Bluetooth or something, so that's all. It's all wired. It's like a local area network, right? So therefore, I'm gonna pull my my plug again, like from the the wire, and just plug in directly. And for I'm a technician and a coder, I'm going into like medic mode. So like I've got some clearings for that from way back then. It's a bit outdated, but usually it works. Usually there's no alarm set off. And therefore now I'm like in a medic mode, and I can like access like memories just to know like what actually happened, to be able to treat them properly. And with my live wire enhancement, I've like now I've access like to the memories, to the cyberware and everything, like the whole data. I can scan the person like right out.
Yeah. I think
Like in real
there
time.
is like since it's a 4 to 5, there is like a minor consequence. When you scan into like their data memories, I think you will notice that there is like a bug program in their cybernetic implants, and you can tell from the programming that this is a bug program kind of like coded for the corporate order police or cops. And I think you will take a level 1 condition, which is noticed. Do you want to resist that, or do you want to take it? It's only a level 1 condition. The way conditions kind of work is like it's not like harm where it's like where there's any debilitating effects, but you only have like 3 conditions you can take. If you take a 4th one, you will suffer a calamity. But like it's not like harm where it's physical harm or whatnot. The main thing you don't want is for conditions to stack up.
Do I need to spend a downtime action afterwards to deal with it? Or does it go away?
No, you do need to Let me double check. But some conditions usually go away depending on the what they are. So say you got the condition drunk, the level 2 condition drunk. It says here maybe the next time you see you, it turns to level 1 condition hungover. This one isn't going to go away without any help, so you will need to spend a downtime action, or you can just resist it right now.
You stand a good chance of resisting it.
Yeah, I think I'll resist it, and I will tell Carbine, well, you've been compromised. You should check your software.
Okay, I think you're gonna resist with intellect. I'm gonna say, so you're gonna roll 3 dice. So I'm gonna take 6 minus your highest die. You're gonna lose 6 luck minus your highest die.
That's a 3 luck I need to spend there.
Ooh.
Still in the game.
Yeah, you're still in the game.
Yeah.
You're not gonna suffer calamity right now. Don't worry. Look, the nice thing with this game, I find out, is that like it does make the consequences a bit softer. You lose luck, it means you suffer calamity, but there's no like a ticking clock of trauma like in Blades. It just means the story gets wilder depending on what calamity you pick, because you get to pick the calamity as well, which is fun. Yeah. So, how do you avoid getting detected by the bug?
I mean, I see the bug, and it's checking my ID, like my medic ID, and I think I just found some general data about like the employees here, and I think I just copied poor Cameron's medic ID, and so I've got like an up-to-date like real thing, not like the stolen stolen one, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, I think the bug's just kind of like, okay, no. I think it will say like, it'll just think, oh, okay, all right, carbine's just being checked over by a medic. It's all good. I think in the interest of time, because we're kind of like an hour in, we're gonna take another break. I'm gonna say that like you can get like a copy of like carbine's kind of like, okay, we've got some time. I'll just ask like, what were you looking for in carbine's memories? As John
Might suggest looking for information about the enforcer.
Ooh, the blonde lady.
Mm-hmm. Since we're going to meet her again.
Wow. Well, yeah, things maybe might have been flagged that way. I don't know.
I have a feeling.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Also, her very presence means that the stakes here are higher than we think they are.
Yeah. Is that okay? Iguana, Andrej?
Yeah, I'll give the decision to Paul, since he came up with the idea, and I think Johnny knows what to do right now. I'm just a tech guy.
Yeah, clearly the woman's good. Just to confirm with you, Brandon, are you a Temple Hardware product?
I am.
Yeah. So I'd be really interested in Metromart and their interactions with Temple Hardware. What
That's
does
great.
Carbine know about that?
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Andrej, you look through Carbine's memories and you see that like Carbine is like a rising up and comer in Melomart's hierarchy. They are they're mostly about product management in the sense of literal logistics, shipping stuff. And this move to them, you can tell from Carbine's memories when they get the the job, so to speak. Then they get the details. Like, all right, this may seem simple, but I know logistics. I know how things work. And then you see through the memories that there's like because they know how to move stuff. Some of the stuff that's being moved is kind of like, wait a minute, what is all this? Why are we moving? Why are we buying out this department store to move this like security server farm over here? What's all this happening? And the thing that strikes off their alarm bells is they get assigned like a minder from Temple Hardware, which they had known that like Metal Mart and Temple Hardware like making some plans for like some joint business ventures or whatnot, but they get assigned this enforcer whose name, give you a name. Hold on. I was not I was not expecting this at the moment. Sorry, I need to. Why am I stuck with names?
Put a book on your shelf.
Oh man, I have so many books on my shelves. That's
There you go. Just pick any female author.
yeah. No, hold on. Their name is Dahlia. Because I just saw I have a copy of James Ellroy's The Black Dahlia. So there we go. Her name is Dahlia, and she is like as you said, a Temple Hardware enforcer, but someone who, as far as anyone in Metal Mart knows, has not been a name in Temple Hardware until very, very recently. Like there was like suddenly there's one day where she wasn't there, and suddenly she was there, and she is specifically their head of security, and she's the one directing the server farms, the one directing the installation of them, and Carbine has this like uneasy feeling that like Carbine feels uneasy whenever they interact with Dahlia, and you can see from Carbine's memories that they've got a sneaking suspicion that Dahlia seems to be almost tailor-made to be a head of security. And oh no, we lost Mario again. Oops. And so you know what? We're here. I don't know how Mario times these, but these are timed almost kind of like perfectly. We've been for another hour. Let's come back at 35 past, if that's okay with folks. And then I'll finish the spiel, and then we'll wrap up the score, and then do some downtime. Cool. Come back 35 past. Okay. What was the last thing you heard, Mario? Before your internet cut out.
The last thing that you were just about to start about Dahlia the Enforcer, and how there's a deal with Temple Hardware to wrap up some jobs or something.
Yeah, the main thing that I was kind of finishing up is that what you get from Carbine's memory is that there's they have this suspicion that because Dahlia just kind of came out of nowhere, it's as their head of security, when their head of security was someone else beforehand, and suddenly there's this new person who doesn't seem like came from any ranks. It's almost as if they were tailor-made to be head of security for Temple Hardware. But I think that's where Carbine's memories kind of and suspicions kind of drift off.
Did I see similarities to Rose, or similarities between Dahlia and Rose?
Other than what Johnny and Rose felt, no. I think other than both of them being tall, they don't.
Okay.
They're not like clones of each other.
No, but the question is Dahlia synthetic?
Oh well, that's for y'all to find out. That Carbine doesn't know that. All they know is that Dahlia came out of nowhere, and they've got a wickedly strong grip. That's there may be some suspicions, but it's session 2. I'm not telling you all everything. But I mean, come on. I say that, but then I'm like, well, that's for y'all to find out. Yeah, so I think y'all pretty much done. I think Johnny, you helped Carbine kind of like calm down from the drugs you pumped into him, and I think like they think they're kind of like just glassy eyed and just kind of like wants to like just sit down, and y'all can be off in your merry way, and but I think score done. Job done well with minimum fuss. Let's do the payoff and heat, and then we'll probably like catch up with V and see how they're doing, and then we'll go into downtime. So to go to the downtime sheet, the downtime tab in the character keeper. Meanwhile, I'm gonna try to find the section in the PDF. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so after the score, the PCs take stock of their income from the operation. A successful score generates resources. The community gets resources based on the tier of the faction they targeted or the tier of the faction they're working for, whichever makes sense. Depending on what happened during the score, they may even earn both. I'm gonna say because you're working for like the community, they don't really have a faction, so I think you're gonna get some resources depending on how much resources are abstract. It could be stuff you stole there, or stuff, or like people who are coming over to your community. I think you probably made friends with some folks here, so it's all kind of abstracted, but the community kind of gets these resources. So, Mellow Mart is a tier 4 target. So I'm gonna add that 1, 2, 3, 4. The community also gets +1 resource if the score addressed a community member's need. It is possible for multiple needs to be addressed during a single score, and this is the case. Mark what additional +1 resource for each need fulfilled. You're I don't know if you completely fulfilled the other 2. You didn't. Well, you robbed some stuff, but you didn't rob stuff to start a universal income fund for 8 of 55. So you just get 1 more resource. Yeah. So I think like no one's paying you for this, but you got a lot of abstract stuff, and I think maybe like before V kind of like leaves the vending machine to go off to other places, maybe they kind of help break it open and open the other vending machines
That
in the
would be
55.
cool.
Yeah. So I think maybe we just get like a shot of like all the vending machines kind of like just all the mellow mascots kind of like just power off and open up, and you see that there's like a lot of stuff in there. Not because I think Mellow Mart doesn't sell just like crap or like party food. Some of them are like some essentials. They're trying this. They have this vending machine system where like this vending machine sells toiletries. This vending machine sells baby stuff. So I think like V haven't been released from the contract. Which that doesn't mean they're gone. They're still around, but they're not trapped in the vending machine anymore. So I'm gonna mark that. So yeah. So you got some resources. Hell yeah. Um, Every score usually affects the crew's relationship with other factions. Definitely, I think Metal will take a hit with Metal Mart. Probably maybe take a hit with hardware. Yeah. So, heat after a score, your community takes heat according to how the score played out. Let's see. 0 heat is completely quiet, others blamed. +1 heat is smooth and quiet, low exposure. This sounds like smooth and quiet, other than like the head of security of Temple Hardware, who doesn't even work for Metal Mart. Y'all did that cleanly. Y'all did that smoothly. Does that sound good with folks?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, just +1 heat. The thing is, there's I tried looking for this, but I couldn't find a section for entanglements in the PDF. I think they're still being worked on. I'm not sure. I'll message the developer and see if there's anything. Then we'll just fold it into next time. So for now, let's say there isn't any entanglements. You've got some notoriety. Okay, cool. Okay. Um, okay, so that's heat, payoff and heat. Before we get into your downtime actions, there is a downtime scene that we'll have to do. I think there was like one miss in there are two misses. The first two rolls, everything after that was plain sailing, which is ridiculous. Um, so before each PC undertakes their own individual downtime actions, all the players at the table select one of the following downtime scenes. These represent specific moments that occur in the story of your game. They introduce new characters, mark specific moments in time, and help illustrate the community and the growing stakes of your game of Neon Black. So if you're looking at the downtime tab, you'll see there's like a list of those. And details can be found in the rule book. So each scene has kind of like a name and a general description of what happens when you select it. And then all of us will collectively like create each scene by answering 6 questions. Each player, including the GM, can contribute answers, and each player can like roleplay the scene from the perspective of their characters or other NPCs. Sometimes this will be short and sweet. Other times it'll be involved, may even require some action rolls. Each scene also has a mechanical component once it is resolved. That'll be reflected on the character community sheets. Yeah, so we got some choices here, quite a number of them. So I'll show the screen for those who might be watching and for yourselves as well. There we go. Yeah, so there's a day in life, which is just introduce a new NPC. The pledge, which is specifically introduce a brand new member of the community. There is the pledge. There is bills. Show the needs created by capitalism. There is walkout. An anti-corporate demonstration gets ugly. There is cops. The corporate or the police throw their weight around, which basically they just show up and mess stuff up. There is there's some stuff there at the end. There's memorial, say goodbye to the dead, which probably as of right now probably not gonna happen. We don't know anyone. Well, you never know. There could be someone who's died. There is Gemini, which is Prime City's infamous corporate agents are on the hunt. So these are cybernetic assassins. Gemini are a faction in the sheet. They're like twins, I think. Of course they are, and they're cybernetic assassins who might be after y'all. This is the version of entanglements. There's cut loose, which is just rest, reset, unwind, live a little. This could be like a party, concert, or day trip. There is allies. A faction reaches out with a tempting offer. And then there's executive meeting, which the rich plan their next move against you. Oh, I love this. Congratulations. Great. Yeah. So, which one of those scenes do y'all want to see?
I'm most interested in either day in the life or allies, since it's like a few shots.
You don't want any corporate assassins on you?
It's a little early for that.
Yeah, I don't see how that's like personal enough to really hurt.
That's true.
Yet, since we haven't seen them.
Okay. Paul, you're muted.
Is it one scene for all 3 of us, is it?
No, it's just one scene overall.
One scene overall. Yeah, Mario, that's fine.
Or the cops, of course.
I was thinking the cops. Due to the fact that the vending machines have sort of allowed the stuff to go for free. So I think the cops will show up and try to retrieve some corporate property. But I'm more than happy to go with Mario's suggestions. He jumped in first. we've got
No,
numerous
that's a good
sessions
idea.
left. So
That would feed in well to like one of the other community members like needs. Mario, you okay with going to cops?
Absolutely. I just didn't have the idea, but that's perfect. That's just like continuing what we already said. So I'm happy to see what happens there.
Okay, all right. So since because of time, we'll just kind of probably describe what's happening. We don't have to role play the entire thing out. But yeah, sooner or later you're gonna have to tag with the cops. Doesn't matter if you're denizens of the city of Nod out in the desert, or you're up there in Chariot. For unfortunately you're in the 55, but the cops will eventually figure out what you're up to. So when you select this downtime scene, answer the following questions as a group by role-playing scenes or describing what's happening. So I think I'll ask each person a question, if that's okay with folks. We'll probably go on like character keeper order, or well, there are some questions that require each PC, but for some of them, I'll just ask a question. So yeah, so just imagine the 55, our lovely kind of derelict but still a functioning apartment building, working a bit better now because of those vending machines opened up. The cops are outside the community though. How did they get here? Are there a lot of them or just a few? Are they in armored vans or nondescript flying cars? I'm gonna ask Paul this. So how did they get here?
I think it was paddy wagons, transits, or the equivalent of. So yeah, cops, reasonably tooled up, arriving in cop vans, reasonably obvious.
Yeah. Next I'm gonna ask Mario, who is leading them? Like who's the cop leader that will probably show up next session? I'm getting you to ask this in case we don't see you next week.
Yeah. I think that's the notorious Jackie Flag, and that's a character every runner knows, because she did run with us. She's been an assassin and quite good at it, and nobody knows how she ended up with the police force as special agent. Like there are rumors that she got memory wiped and like a whole bunch of crazy stuff, or that like the corp kidnapped her whole family and all such things. But we see the cops rolling in, and they all in uniform, and then we see this like curvy, rather small lady in a black leather jacket, sunglasses, like just standing there, finishing the smoke. And after the cops started to beat up first people, like just some bystanders, she comes in and just like scans people, and she's and occasionally when she's like really suspicious about someone, she does what I did on our mission, and she just checks into people and gets all their memories, and like really that's such a dangerous technique to our community, because she got the details of who runs with whom and stuff like that, and it's actually illegal for police forces to do that, right? But we see her do that all the time.
Cool. Yeah. Brandon, what is their objective?
Her objective here is to frighten. They're not really expecting to recover much in the way of it. They'd like to arrest a handful of people. If they can get anything that'll stick, and if they can't, then they'll just take some people down to the station and make life difficult for them. But she's they're trying to prevent a recurrence of this. by by reacting with a little too much force.
Okay, I'm gonna ask each of you to describe how do NPCs in the community react when they arrive? Like, who hides, who, if anyone, greets them, who here goes find the PCs. No, we don't have that many NPCs, but this is a time to like create some if if y'all want to. So yeah, I'll get each of you to like answer this question. I have a moment to think. If you've got an idea, feel free to jump in.
Nobody wants, I can start. And I think since like I think they responded quite rapidly since Shaggy's in charge, right? And then we just see people celebrating about the free stuff they just got, and then cops show up and everybody just runs. And some just got snatched because they were like overloaded with stuff or just weren't like able enough to run away, right? And I think we see the kid. I repaired the toy dog, and we see Jackie Black grab the kid and just trample the robo dog, right? And then she just like stares at the kid. The kid is clearly frightened, but I'm not sure about the lines and ways, so I just say, let's the kid go. But yeah.
Paul or Brandon, how did NPCs react?
8 of 55 is verbally protesting, and and threatening to file paperwork on this, but she's staying the right side of not saying or doing anything that's going to get her the shit kicked out of her. She's also trying to keep other people from doing the same, throwing insults or stuff like that, because the cop's standard reaction to insults is brutal because they don't care.
And then Paul?
I think D follows up Adder's 55 sort of situation with diffuse, and D's method is she'll offer a free drink to the cops, open bar to the cops. So that's going in line with Adder 55's. They're here, they've got to deal with the police. Let's close it down really quickly. Minimum sort of damage to the block. Then the police should roll out.
Cool. How does each PC become aware that the cops are here? So what's the shot we get of each of you as this is happening? Of Jonny, Andrej, and Rose.
I think for me, it's sort of kid runners running, the levels, each level of the block. I'm going to go for that sort of that dread scene. It's got that massive atrium in the middle. Everybody's around a central atrium, so you can look down and throw people off because that always works well. And yeah, you see that the police coming on force down on the ground level, where a lot of the vending machines are anyway. That's the sort of mart level. So they're concentrated there. But yeah, you just get the kids, classic sort of, I've lived in Belfast in the Troubles. Little kids are really good at sort of getting word of mouth around really, really quickly. So that's how I know. So I'll sort of step out on the balcony of the sort of minor clinic, and yeah, these kids run by, the cops are here, the cops are here.
I think for Andrej, he got his drones right. He is like really suspicious about his surrounding, and he's still afraid that the corp will get back to him and try to reclaim him. So he got like some surveillance and security measures. And after that, I think we have this this announcement when they're like, it's just like tiny screens at each floor, like it's stairway and above the elevators, which is like the current smog and hazard state, or like if there is like some floor off limits due to maintenance or whatnot. And you see those advertisements, and whenever there's like this and we wish you a good day with a smiley, like everybody knows that there's something on Andrew's radar, because of course he hijacked it, right? And he wants the whole community.
Rose?
Well, Rose is a table server at Dee's Bar, so she has to interact with them. She has her hair tied back in a scarf, and is not looking anybody in the eye. You know, just putting the drinks down and trying to be as unremarkable as she possibly can. That probably has mixed success. She specifically tries to stay out of line of sight of Jackie Black.
Yeah. So are any of you so what happens when the PCs and cops kind of like meet? Like, are any of you gonna like escalate? Is there anything folks either any of you does when you come face to face with them?
Rose is doing the opposite. Rose is trying to hide in place.
I don't think I'm going to escalate the situation. I think that the block hierarchy sort of wants to defuse. I'm just going to concentrate on, anybody that does get injured, try and treat them as best I can.
The only thing we can see that Andrej does is that he's just checking the elevator, and he looks like he's really calm and casual. But downstairs we see his hand shaking a bit, and he collects the bits and pieces of the RoboDoc, then goes up back into his shop and repairs it.
Okay. That's it for the questions. If they arrive in force, their scale is equal. Oh, go ahead,
Rose. We see one scene. One of the cops, body slams, a resident in front of Rose, and Rose kind of grabs hold of a stanchion in order to keep from intervening, and leaves finger marks in it.
So, at the if they arrive in force, their scale is equal to the community's current notoriety. So it's like it's a tier 1 because you do have one level of notoriety. I decided to check that after Jonny took local legend. There's some notoriety. Virus gets plague like that gets cured by local legend. You can get some notoriety there. So yeah, it's like a tier 1 kind of like sort of invasion. So yeah, some roughing up and whatnot. There's a list below of what they plan to do. So I'm gonna roll, unless you want to choose, because there's a list of 6. Oh, let me share the screen again. Sorry. Okay. The list below provides some examples of what they plan to do. If you're unsure which scheme to use, roll dice equal to community's notoriety, match the highest result to this list. If there's anything there that y'all think that's like more sensible than me rolling, they're not going to arrest everyone in the community.
They didn't bring enough. They didn't bring enough wagons.
Yeah. For tier 1. Probably the most sensible one is like increased cop presence in the community's district. That seems because again, y'all haven't done anything that explosive, like to warrant maybe some arrests, maybe. But given that since Paul described that the leadership is trying to like diffuse things, um, unless we really want to lean into that direction, I think it will just be increased cop presence. Um, so here's how the cops start hanging out in D's bar way more. Um, that cool with folks?
Yeah, one sounds good.
All right. After this scene ends, add an enemy or rival to the community sheet. Gee, I wonder who's going to be on that. This should be the leader who instigated this plan, and their need is met when it is complete. There's a consequences. The consequence the PCs may have to deal with right now, or maybe the next score will have to be a prison break. We'll see. But anyway, there you've got an enemy or rival added to the sheet, which I will add in a moment. But first, let's do downtime actions, which is probably going to be the rest of our time here. So, just going down, trying to find the PDF. There we go. Between scores, your characters spend time as they like, tend to personal needs, their day jobs. These are called downtime actions. During a downtime phase, wow, this is quite stingy. Each PC gets one free downtime action, and you get more by spending resources of the community. You spend one resource, you get one more downtime action. So you've got a list here. Let me go through them and kind of like quickly ish. Yeah, all players start with one free downtime action and get more by spending one resource per downtime action. Specific each downtime action are found in a rule book. So first up, there's craft. Make your own drugs, hardware, software. Maybe invent something new. There's engage in capitalism, which is buying corporate products or services. This is where you can get like maybe some playbook items, maybe a vehicle. I will say, when you engage in capitalism, you spend more of the community's resources. So keep that in mind. You can get Chrome, which is get basic cyberware installed, whether through an NPC or through a PC. There's the grind, which is work your job to get XP, which you can only do if you're employed. There's the long-term project, which is work on time-intensive projects or long-term goals. This could be like tracking someone or finding something out. There's recover, which is clear conditions. Reduce heat, which is clear heat from the community. And there's steal assets, which just steal stuff from your employer, specifically playbook items. You can only perform this action if your character is employed. So have a moment to think. I will say, for some of these actions will require some rolls, and some of them can be assisted by PCs as normal. And you get one free downtime action. And I know, I think some folks have milestones that let them have one more free, or maybe just one extra option. But that's up to yourselves. So have a moment to think. If folks have questions on what other downtime actions do, feel free to ask, and I'll explain.
Do any of them return luck?
When do you get
Doesn't look like it.
let me double check. Here we go.
I could use some advice from someone who has more familiarity with Forged in the Dark kind of games.
Certain amount of luck. Characters gain luck during the engagement roll, specific downtime scenes, or whenever a character rolls a crit on an action, downtime roll, or resistance roll. So no, you don't get a return in luck. What happens is you lose the luck and you'll suffer a calamity. But you can see, and let me see, what do you get when you suffer a calamity? Okay, a plot twist. Okay, you can get that. You get captured. You can get exposed. Trying to see if there are other ways to get luck.
Well, and your luck pops back up to a certain level, right?
Yeah. When your luck runs out, once you take a calamity, you get back all your luck. So you get all 9 full. And yeah, other than that, you get it through rolling well or some downtime scenes, not activities. Is there any specific advice you're looking for, Brandon, about which one to go for?
Just there's so many different things. Just trying to get advice from other players what they think would be interesting.
I mean, if there's anything good on your character sheet under the playbook items, as you only start with one of them,
Yeah.
if you want any more of them, that would be a good route to go down. The steal something route.
Or you can get like Chrome and get some more cyberware. Which, well, what it does is it lets you, depending on where you get it, it lets you add a 4th die to your resist rolls depending on the attribute, and lets you, and it unlocks getting a 3rd dot. So you can get cyberware if you want. Or you can just grind to get some XP, work your job, you can get some more XP. There's also a roll. So it's not like in Blades where you just pick it and you just get 1 XP. There is actually a roll involved, and you could get 1 or 2 or 3 XP. I think, yeah. All of the. Oh, go ahead.
So I just have this thing where I said that Rose is a piece of art, and I would make her my masterpiece if I had the resources to. So I want to work on that. And the thing is, since we're running like a short campaign, what about we make this a long-term project with, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not here next time, but in the end, I just want Rose to be like super hyper over cyberware kind of person, like Terminator style. I don't know. So and I'm asking Brandon if
Yes.
if that will be okay, but I think that is a long-term project I'm working on. Whatever that means in the end, right? I'm just making Rose a masterpiece.
I think Rose is worried that Temple's going to make a play for her, so she wants to be ready for that.
Okay.
She also has these data chips inside that she doesn't know what they have.
Yeah. Is there a specific? I know you want to make Rose a masterpiece, but is there like a specific end goal to that we can work towards in this long-term project?
I mean, it's part of my bond, and I don't want to push something on Rose. So I think Brandon could decide what that would look like. Okay, because my specialty is like security related stuff, right? That's what we established so far. And I've got this like free downtime action for long-term project. So
absolutely. Well, Rose is already tricked out to be a courier bot, so perhaps you could build mousetraps into her.
So what's that exactly? Is that like a metaphor, or I don't really get the
okay.
part.
It is intrusive countermeasures.
That would be perfect.
Heavy, nasty anti-hacking software.
So
that doesn't just keep people out, but actually retaliates.
So I'm gonna say this is probably like a 6-step clock. That seems very reasonable. Like, you have the means, you have the workshop, so we just get like a shot of Rose and Andrej in the workshop, and I'm sure some words were had. Rose, how do you feel about Andrej's goal to make you a masterpiece?
I don't want to ever have to reveal anything that might compromise my friends. So if you can prevent that, because while I'm sure my regular safeguards would block most people, they won't block Temple.
Okay.
Temple has the Temple made me, and they would have the unlock codes for probably my whole memory.
Also, they have got some of the best hackers out there, or at least the money to get them. So, Rose, I've got one question for you.
Yeah.
How far are you willing to go? Because after all, it's software. It's not, it can't be unbreachable forever and for all attacks. But I can make you like 99% safe. But what about the last percent? How far are you willing to go for that?
I know what you're saying. And yes, I'm willing to have a self-destruct.
Okay. Oh, wow. That would be dramatic, Rose. I was thinking about a shutdown mode, but okay. Well, yeah,
No,
whatever you want.
shutdown's not good enough.
Okay, yeah.
If I get captured, first of all, I need systems that are, I need some, intrusive countermeasures enough that to ruin hacking, ruin the first several hacking attempts made on me. And then hopefully, if I get caught, I can break out before they get anything from me.
Okay.
I'm designed to be hard to capture in the first place, but again, Temple knows too much about me, and I don't know enough about them.
Yeah. Okay. I'll if you will ever have to leave the big stage, it will be quite explosive. I'll guarantee you that. And I think since I that is one of my I get a free action for long-term projects. I want to spend my second action also on this project. And I think that's just like after the conversation we see Andrej sipping like so many green tea, lemonade kind of things, and staying awake for like we just see sunrise and fall and him hacking like crazy into his computer.
Okay, all right. Well, let's make one roll, and then we'll see. You probably will need the second roll because there's a stick clock. All right. When you undertake a long-term project, you make an action roll and mark segments in the clock according to your result. What are you rolling with?
I'm rolling hacking, of course.
Heck yeah. NPCs and PCs may assist as normal. Is Rose helping out?
Yes, of course.
Okay, spend one luck. You get an extra die if you push your luck or sell out.
No, I don't want to do either of those. I'm
Okay.
good with a 3 here.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, I need to refresh it.
Oh, right, yeah. Where is the dice roll? Do you need a link to the dice roll?
Not good.
Ooh. Oh man, yeah, that's not. Oh, that's rough. You can spend a resource to up the result level, so it goes from 1 to 3 to 4 to 5.
Okay, I just real quick. No, that is recover long-term project. There it is. So it's a 1. How is everybody feeling about the community resources? We want to spend them for anything else, or?
I'm good with spending one.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I tick off one, and
So that's 2 ticks. So you got 4 more to go. Yeah. So you're gonna spend your second downtime action on this as well, right?
yeah. So just same, and I'm re-rolling.
Yeah. Do you want to push your luck or sell out this time?
No, I don't want, and it's a 5, so it's fairly okay. We could finish this like just before the end.
So yeah, 4 ticks. You're 2 ticks away from finishing this. From finishing this up. You're nearly there. All right. I'm gonna turn to Jonny November. And what do you want to do for your downtime action?
Yeah, I'd like to grind the job.
Ooh, okay. So let me share this screen because there's some specific things to do when you grind the job. Nope, that's recover. Long-term project. Okay. Grind the job. You spend time at your place of employment, doing menial tasks, etc., etc. It's boring to be exhausting, but at least you get experience. So, where do you work and how do you get there?
Yeah, well, it's the clinic in 55, so it's just a walk. Yeah, down there.
Yeah.
I think the sort of demands on me are clearly sorting out the post-cop situation. Quite a few people were beaten, so I've got a lot of customers. All with sort of minor injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you get through this particular workday?
Yeah, I think it's got to be sort of stim use. I've got good access to them. It's a big workload. I'm not happy with it, but really just to get my way through it's got to be use of stims.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So make a downtime roll using the appropriate action rating. Which action rating are you using to get through the day? Since you're like probably.
So, I think it's Tinker, isn't it? Really? I mean, that's sort of medical.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is. Yeah, apply first aid. That is definitely Tinker. Yeah, NPCs and PCs may assist as normal. Is there any NPC you think would be helping here with you? If not, that's fine.
I think possibly out of 55, would probably be interested in. She's got a strong community presence. Community leader. She's wise. I think she'd probably be interested in assisting.
Yeah, I think definitely she's taken some time out to be here in the clinic, just make sure talking to people. I mean, I think you get the sense that she's kind of fishing for some info, but she's here to make sure that folks are okay, and how are folks feeling basically. She's kind of wants to get the pulse of get the temper check on the community. I think she asks that as you as well, how are you feeling? How are you holding up, Jonny? You okay?
Yeah, we can't. I don't think the block can suffer too many more of these cops being around. I think we need to get rid of them.
We may need to talk about that. Not here, but
fair one. Yeah, let's deal with the injured people first.
All right, so you get an extra die for that. You only have 1 luck, if I remember correctly, right?
Well, it's very low. I think it's either 1 or 2. It's not much, that's for sure.
Yeah, well,
just 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 3 dice is fine.
Yeah, just to get XP. Don't want to push yourself.
Okay, here goes. 3 dice.
All right, it's a
5, 4, 5.
All right, so you get 2 XP. So yeah, you grind it out, but you learn, and you help out, which is also really important. But yeah, I think you also get a temper check yourself. Actually, yeah, you got a bit of a temper check yourself on the community. How are they feeling about this incident?
I ain't too happy with the cops being here. it just causes more hassle.
It's not the best. Cool. All right, we've got some time for our last downtime action. Is there anything else you want to add, Paul, before we move away?
No, that's fine.
Hell yeah. Okay, Rose, what do you want to do? Is there anything you want to get? Anything you want to aim for?
I think I'll do my job because I'm trying to learn about people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
What's the mood like in the bar?
Quiet when the cops are there,
Mm-hmm.
surly and argumentative when they're not, or as I should say, sort of surly when they're there, angry when they're not.
Yeah, it's not great.
D is when the cops are there, D yells at other people because she's not good at keeping her emotions to herself. When the cops are not there, she grouses about them.
Not a great mood.
No.
So, same deal for Johnny. What action rating are you going to serve drinks?
Analyze.
Okay. Do you want? Do you think D is assisting you in this, or is she just in a bad mood?
Yeah, no. D's assisting.
Yeah.
I think D knows that Rose has something to hide. She's a bar. She's a bar owner. They see a lot of people. They know how to suss people.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, she has avoided asking Rose exactly what that is.
All right.
But Rose is also a little odd, and so maybe D has some kind of strange protective feelings. Because maybe D thinks Rose is a little defective.
All right, so take an extra die. Do you want to push your luck or stop? I think that's you. You have 2 dice at the moment.
I do have 2 dice. Should I go for 3 dice?
If you want to. There's no risk here because it's a downtime roll. So there's no consequences. So just how much resources you want to spend. So do you want to push your luck or do you want to?
Yeah, I will.
All right.
I'm going to push my luck.
3 dice. Let's see how you do. Oh man.
Got a 4.
Yeah, so that's 2 XP. I think you're right. When the cops are there, I think what you get is that the cops are there more often than folks here would like.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to act normal in front of them. Well, and so that's what some of the XP here is, and I'm doing a so-so job.
Yeah.
I haven't, I don't obviously, probably D at one point says, don't flinch when you see a cop. Because they notice that and it makes them suspicious. And so, okay, Rose goes, okay. I mean, Rose isn't flinching because she's afraid. But the effect is much the same.
Okay. I think, that wraps up downtime actions. If folks want to do any more, you need to spend resources.
Johnny, are you all right? I didn't hurt you when I knocked you down, did I? Or
sorry,
pushed you? Johnny, I didn't hurt you when I pushed you aside, did I?
Oh, no. That was a good save. Thanks for that. No.
I didn't know what to do. She was incredibly strong.
Yeah, no, she'd have crushed my windpipe, you know, like an old guy like me. So thank you very much.
I didn't think I could strike back out at her
No, I
without
think it was a
without
wise
causing
move.
a terrible problem. I
Yeah.
I think I'm as strong as she is, but I'm not sure I'm built for combat the way she is.
No, but it's a lot better going under the radar than hitting it at an opportune time. That wasn't the place for an all-out fight. We were massively outnumbered. We weren't tools.
She's from Temple, though. They'll be suspicious.
Yeah.
I really don't want to see her again.
Agreed. If we do have to deal with her, we'll do it on our terms rather than their terms.
I mean, I'm not, you know, unique, but
yeah. Let's keep a distance from her. Yeah, I think that's a wise move there.
I'm glad. Okay, well, I'm glad it turned out well. I just couldn't let her get her hands on you.
No, thanks very much.
Because I saw how fast she moved, and I realized something awful was about to happen.
Yeah, definitely enhanced. I think that's a fair phrase to sum her up.
Maybe really enhanced.
Yeah. If we meet her again, hopefully it's on our, you know, we'll try and put it on our terms.
I wouldn't want to meet her. I wouldn't want to meet her again without armor-piercing ammunition.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we'll work on that. But yeah, avoidance is the best option, I feel.
Okay.
Mario, you're about to say something? Oh, they're right on time. Jeez. Right on time. And then the next hour.
His computer knows when the end of the hour, when it's time to take a break.
I know.
Clearly.
Yeah. Oh God, I feel bad. I'm gonna message him, see if there's anything else he wants to get done. But we are going to wrap up at the time because this is of the hour. We'll talk about debrief stuff. I just want to say on the recording, thanks again as always to yourselves for playing. The dice, thanks to the dice roller for being so nice tonight. Some fab images, some interesting NPCs, some like interesting decisions. Hacking into that that manager, and some just great. Some lovely compassion amidst this horrible cyberpunk dystopia, I will say. Just want to shout that out on the record for folks. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this recording, and I'll send my commiserations to Mario. Thanks to anyone who's watching and listening, anyone who's interested in this game or in the Gauntlet, check out the link below. But I'm gonna stop recording. I'll see y'all later, YouTube. Bye bye.